Hey, folks, welcome to Market Intraday Analysis by InTheMoneyStocks.com, your leaders in pure technical analysis, avoiding all that Wall Street hype. Today, Monday, January 24th, 2011. All right, folks, the market's again extremely light volume today. Mondays, we're seeing more and more light volume as well as on Friday afternoons. Last week, we had a wild week. It was a hugely profitable week with major moves up and down in the indexes in various stocks. We saw a lot of commodity plays sell off sharply last week. Today, they are rebounding. It makes sense if you think about it. The dollar is a little bit on the downside today. If I put up the UUP, which is the dollar index, you can see it's kind of come off a gap up this morning. This is where it opened, came down. Now it's kind of going sideways to slightly back up a little bit, but still down on the day. That's helped the markets push up very, very nicely. And again, in the light volume environment, that's exactly what you would expect. So again, you can see the markets had a little selling here initially when the dollar was on the stronger side. Then as the dollar declined, the markets floated up. And as I showed you guys, the dollar has now gone sideways to a little bit to the upside, and the markets have pulled off their highs. The trend lines are working beautifully. Look at this purple trend line down here marking the low from Friday. Look at the retest today on Monday. In addition, if you see the little pop here, where does it go? It takes you right up to the 200, sells off. Then you come up here, you pause right on the green line with a one hit there, a pause right on top of the 200, and then break through. Where do you go? To a double top from Friday's high. So again, the levels are working amazingly well. If you're in the intraday stock chat, you're obviously watching with us live as we give you the analysis, the trades, everything that you could want in the intraday stock chat. And if you're a research center member, you got a whole bit of analysis on Friday, on Thursday of last week, going into this week, as well as posts over the weekend to be prepared for this week on the swing trade side, on the analysis side, on commodities, on currencies, you name it, it's all there. All right. Now, again, notice how you hit a double top. So this is your resistance point right around this 129.15 level. We are pulling off a little bit. I don't expect any major selling today, mostly because at this point we're waiting on earnings this week. The Federal Reserve on Wednesday will release their policy statement. That'll be huge. This is the first meeting for 2011. I think the markets are very curious to see what they come out with. All right, what is the announcement? What do they see for the 2011 growth side of the markets? Are they going to talk about interest rates? Are they going to talk about inflation? These are all key things. And at 2:15 p.m. Eastern Time on Wednesday, we will get the word out of the Fed. So especially today with no earnings to drive the market, expect a quiet day. We are getting that. Only 53.8 million traded on the SPY. The market is showing us that it might do under 100 million today in these volumes on the spiders, which again is insanely light volume. All right, let's talk about some other plays. What's going on with oil today? Oil is down again on the day. Take a look here, folks. My first target is going to be this level down here. You're looking at the 200 moving average and this slanted trend line. If what you want to do here is really, let me redraw this in so it's a little bit more accurate. This is really what you're looking for right here, folks. Right above, this is your first hit, and right now I have that at 36.45 on the USO. That'll be your first level of support. If you get through that, your second level will be the 200 moving average. Both should be good levels for a 1 or 2 day swing trade bounce on oil. In addition, what's the GLD doing? GLD is basically flat on the day, but these are your levels that you're watching. It's consolidating in a bearish manner. Again, I think the ultimate target for the GLD is down here where these two trend lines are. We will keep an eye on that. All right, let's go over a couple different stocks. What's going on with Exxon today? Exxon's actually selling just a little bit. So the market's positive, but Exxon has had such a big run, as you can see. And again, if I zoom out on the chart, you can see it's even bigger than that, all the way back from about 55, 56 to now close to $80 the last couple days, that it's pulling back a little bit. So you are seeing a little bit of a pullback in Exxon. However, Chevron is continuing to push higher. Take a look at Chevron today, up about 42 cents on the day. Now, it's interesting because Chevron is up, and you can see the UNG is coming down. Now, that's nat gas, and Chevron really doesn't deal with that. But the reason I'm bringing this to your attention is because the disparity here is nat gas is part of Exxon. Exxon bought out, I believe it was, I can't remember who it was back a while back, but either way, Exxon bought out a nat gas company, so they're partially oil, partially nat gas now. So you see how Exxon or the UNG is kind of keeping a little extra pressure on Exxon Mobil, and I do find that fascinating to look at the disparity. You have Chevron up today, that's more oil, and Exxon is down. And again, they both dabble in both areas, but I remember distinctly, I think it was XTO Exxon bought out, if I remember correctly, XTO Energy. All right, let's go back to a couple other things here. Apple Computer is having a big day. Now, Apple got punished after earnings. Really, it was before earnings on the Steve Jobs situation where he left. Then they bounced up and gapped up on earnings and then reversed back down for 3 days, 1, 2, 3. And they didn't quite get to the 50, but they did get to the double bottom here. And this was a key level right here. Notice how the pivot low from the day that Steve Jobs announced he was leaving, that first trading day last Monday, and then again, or it was last Tuesday since Monday was closed. And then the market or the stock rallied back up to a double top here, and that was your shorting opportunity, and it came right back and then it's bouncing back up. So it's stuck between this level here and this level down here. If you break down below the 50, you should see a pretty good correction down to this area on Apple Computer. Apple Inc. right here. See, again, there's a little bit of a gap fill down here. That's if and only if you break down below the 50 moving average. All right, next up, what we want to look at is Amazon. Amazon is weak today, although it's off the lows. If you look at the intraday, look at this. It's really come back pretty nicely, but sold very sharply. They have earnings on Thursday, so that's going to be one to watch. The big movers today are MCP, guys. I put this on the blog last week, and we even talked about it in the Research Center over the weekend as a possible trade at $40, and that would be at a level of the 50 moving average right here. And this is exactly where it hit today. Take a look at that. If you look at that hit of the 50 moving average, look at the bounce. Now, it's very interesting because they came out and announced that they were going to be doing a secondary, which, again, they halted the stock for that. It looked like the stock was going to get punished. Then they came out with secondary news saying they were going to expand their capacity, double their capacity for creation of everything that they create here in the rare earth and mineral area. So, again, that was very bullish. There was bearish news. The stock hit the 50 perfectly. It seems like those two news pieces negated each other, and then right from that point, the stock rallied back up because it hit the 50. It hit a technical level there, and that was all she wrote there as it ran higher. So really kind of an interesting day on Molycorp, but notice how it went right to the 50, and then it bounced $5 off that 50. It's up almost $3 on the day now, which is absolutely astounding. A beautiful, almost $6 reversal on Molycorp today, MCP. Other stocks to watch today, solars, FSLR getting a conviction buy up $9.50. The rest of the solar area should continue to run. LDK is having a huge move today up $1.38. Watch the small cap solars here, guys. ASTI, in my opinion, is a very, very lucrative play down here. Nice base formation. Plus, not only do you have all these other solar stocks, the larger caps running, but you also have the State of the Union address tomorrow night, which, again, the market will probably be quiet until that, as well as the Federal Reserve is done with. But Obama always pumps alt energy, so you got to figure the alt energy money is flowing into these plays as well, and again, could be a very, very nice little move in the coming days. Hoku's another one that's of interest to me, low end of the chart. Other than that, you also have DSTI, which is a little bit of a tinier one, very, very hard one because it's such a small company, only $8 million market cap, but one to watch anyways. All right, so we'll keep an eye on some of these slower or smaller solar companies and see if they do play out at any point today in the coming days. FCX, Freeport-McMoRan, getting a good bounce as well, and we will see how things play out here, but the stock got below the 50 moving average on a closing basis on Friday, but has not confirmed today, so remember, there's no confirmation there. That is a very important little factor here. All right, some good stuff today, guys. I encourage you to join the Research Center. I just released the Hidden Gem today. The new Hidden Gem for January has been released. It's worth it just to get in that. The last Hidden Gem ran 60%. The one before that, I believe, was 40 or 50%. And again, it continues to be knocking it out of the park per the Hidden Gem reports. These things are gems that have not been discovered, and they're usually discounted at least 50%. We have a 50% target on these things over the next 6 months. They run like crazy when they run, and it's a fantastic way to make plenty of money in the Research Center. Just one of the many things included. Remember, it's all included. Everything in the Research Center is included for that $49.99 a month. You want to get involved and sign up now. All right, guys, enough for today. Just go back to the SPY. Let's take a look. The SPY, again, is just hovering off. Notice how it hit the double top. That's your short. I mean, did you really need any other better shorting opportunity of the day than a double top right there? Look at that. Hits it perfectly, and then look at the fall right back down. And again, I don't really think we're going to sell much. I don't think we get through this area down here. There's way too much support, but I think you could just float sideways now for the rest of the day. Volume, again, 54.5 million. You could even break up. I wouldn't be surprising to see this market break through that double top if it tries later today on extremely light volume. Take care, guys. I'll talk to you soon.